one of the problems with Howard Stern's transition into his old man Stern phase is he went from gay people on the show that were girls to gay people on the show that were guys. And it's kind of the problem for his audience is that we like lesbians more so than gay guys. And so what I wanted to highlight is Howard went into the studio on that Monday for Bruce Springsteen, but then on Wednesday, he did not go into the studio.
Okay.
And they decided to extend Cocktober. Now, if you aren't familiar with this, recently, I think definitely way after Artie Lang left the show, Artie would not have put up with this. They started this thing called Cocktober, where in the month of October, they just did a bunch of gay stuff on the air. And, Richard Christy obviously leading the charge here, but this is how his show starts off on Wednesday.
On today's show, The Stern Show celebrates Cocktober.
Oh, I love Cocktober. Just give it to me all over my face.
As resident cock lovers and writer-producers Richard and Sal compete in the first ever Dick Athlon.
Spit on your cock. Make it real wet.
My cock is my life.
Only on The Howard Stern Show.
Cocktober forever.
Is this supposed to be funny? What's going on here? What am I listening to?
I mean, what are we listening to? And this started with before Cocktober, where they would have Sal put M&Ms in his pouch.
Yeah, that was a contest. How many M&Ms could he fit into his pouch? He's uncircumcised. Yeah.
So before this whole bit, where it was like a month long of gay sexual innuendo stuff, he would make Richard and Sal do gay stuff for me. And the reason why we're doing this episode for the people playing at home, like, why is Alex even on here? Because I stopped Carl. I'm like, Carl, Howard Stern is a closeted homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't even want to sound like I'm anti-gay. And then Carl's like, no, I don't believe
we had this conversation about him and Ralph and their whole relationship.
And Carl says no, but this is why too. And I just was looking at another clip. Howard Stern, well, I can pull this up. I actually have it saved. If you saw in the lie detector test that they had for Ralph, he failed it multiple times for being gay. You remember that, Carl, though, right?
Yeah, I do, but I thought that was a bit. Didn't that seem like a bit to you, Alex? I don't know. Because if they just shut that down once and for all, they're like, well, he's a heterosexual man, let's stop talking about it. That would ruin that ongoing bit that they have. But it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real because everything's not real anymore on this show. But there used to be some real elements.
The show's become fake, but that seemed like when they do that lie detector test. What's his name? Ed, whatever his name. I can't think of his last name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. He's great.
I don't know. I feel like there was, at least that guy thought it was real. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't real.
Let's run with your premise today because Howard Stern starts off the show. As soon as he gets on the mic, he talks about how pumped he is for this decathlon that we're about to hear.
I'm excited today about the Dick Cathalon. We are officially extending Cocktober into Cockvember, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I was just going over the day's events. We're treating this as a very serious thing. You'll see, Robin, we're going to have a lot of cameramen. We're going to treat it like an NFL sporting event.
They're going to treat it like an NFL sporting event? You mean football game? Is that what you're looking for there? Howard, I heard a sports fan.
That's the gayest thing he could have done, girl. I didn't even know a football game. I mean, it doesn't get gayer than that.
One of those sports games that they televise?
NFL broadcasts, you can't even say football game. I mean,
what's interesting about this whole thing, and have you listened to this episode, Alex? Is this new to you?
Yeah, no, it's new, but I listened to parts. I haven't listened to the whole Cocktober thing, but I listened to some parts of it.
Okay. What I'm going to present to you is all the buildup for this, because there's 45 minutes of buildup, and then there's 45 minutes of payoff. And everything that they're going to do requires a visual element. They're playing golf with their penises and stuff, and when they're doing it on the radio, you have no idea what's going on. Everyone's just yelling and laughing and nothing. So he says right there, we got all these cameramen. We've been planning this for months. There's been meetings. They had a rehearsal. There's all of this stuff going into it. I went on the Sirius app. There's 17 videos from the Bruce Springsteen interview. There's 20 from the recent Conan O'Brien interview. There's one video of this whole decathlon. So they build this whole thing up, but then they realize, this is terrible. Nobody wants to watch Sal and Richard be naked and do these things.
Well, and Carl, remember when they went to Sirius, there was some weird thing where they couldn't put the Sybian, the Sybian machine couldn't be inserted. They had to sit on it.
Right.
So it's like, do you think there's probably is some sort of weird serious stuff now where like they can't be so sexual? I'm just guessing this. I could be totally wrong. Maybe they can rub their dicks on each other all day long, but maybe there's some human resources stuff where they can't basically have gay sex in the studio. Or, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe there is a limit because, the original bit was Howard Stern, where they had supposedly it went viral, where the person said, "Oh, they're playing the piano with their penis," and it was just a bit. Nobody was. They were just regularly playing the piano, and people were calling in like, "There's a guy playing the piano with his penis," and so that's where they got the idea of like doing the radio hacks,
which is funny. Playing the piano with your penis, of course, is always that's a good gag if you could do that. All right, so then let's talk about some of the shenanigans that will be going on. Medicated Pete, obviously.
Of course, yes.
By the way, I realized something today as I was pulling clips from the show. So Medicated Pete started as an intern on the show, and they hired him because he has a speech impediment. And then he became a whack packer. He's literally Stuttering John. He's the next Stuttering John is Medicated Pete. But Medicated Pete is still interesting, so this is what they do with him.
So
now, yesterday when we left, we were talking about how Pete was going to get mic'd up.
Yeah.
Did he manage to put the mic on himself?
Not only did he put the mic around his penis, but it worked out so well that I've actually switched my plan. He's not only going to sing the opening ceremony, he's going to speak to us while his penis is serving as a microphone that we can have an actual conversation with him. So
Medicated Pete, who's not right, is also naked, but they have the microphone on his penis, so he has to bend down like he's sucking his own dick in order to talk into it. Great
That's abuse. They have literally like a mentally ill person. They're making them do sexual stuff.
Yeah, what's HR think of that?
Hundreds of millions of dollars, and this guy's making like $30,000 a year if he's lucky.
Yeah, I'm not going to call that out because the shit they used to do with Wendy, the slow adult, or Wendy the retard, whatever you want to call her, was all that same type of thing, and I applauded it all the way along.
Well, Gary the retard, when they put him into space without him knowing. I love it too.
Without him knowing.
Yeah, but I don't know, but their dick. This is pretty bad. I never saw when they never had Wendy spread her butthole.
That's true.
Or show her boobs.
That's true, but they have both Sal and Richard spread their buttholes all over the place on this episode.
Every episode. Yeah.
So let's hear some Cocktober stingers. There's a lot of production. Remember, the Howard Stern Show, even though it's on 3 days a week, 17 weeks a year, or something like that, for some reason, it's a staff of 80 people producing this show. So there's a lot of production going on.
So anyway, Cocktober, welcome.
Cocktober. 2 more inches of cock stretching into November.
Yeah, we love Cocktober. It's exciting. So really, it is going to be a great event.
It's literally turning into like one of those morning zoo shows. I'm waiting for them to be like, all right, we're back for Cocktober.
Is Fred dropping? Is he the one that is dropping the sounds, or is that Howard? Okay, so
I think it's still Fred. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of production, a lot of wacky noises, a lot of boner sound effects.
Boing.
Yeah, the old boing.
Yeah, they love that,
do we have that on our boards, Chris? Oh, shit. Write a note down. How do we not have boner sound effects? What are we doing wrong? So then they talk about Michael Rappaport's going to be coming on the show to do a bit as well.
Michael Rappaport is going to be spanking Richard, and he hopes to hit him so hard that the little zits on Richard's ass actually pop.
Ooh.
And and Richard said he could get sexually aroused, and he might come on Michael Rappaport, so it could be very, very intense. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to
happen. A lot of action.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you, Alex, because as I'm listening to this, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to hear any of this. Have I outgrown this, or is this way stupider than it used to be?
Oh, it's way dumber. No, they totally devolved to the. I mean, it doesn't even make sense what they're like. I guess you can say some comedy is formulaic, like being sarcastic or making like something absurd.
Goofy guy stuttering John, yeah, formulaic, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but I don't even know what this is. Just to be extra gay, and then like what they because he tries to appeal to the truck driver, the guy Johnny Longhaul in the truck, listening to it on satellite radio. Like they don't. They don't love gay content, gay radio. So I don't know who he's. What their idea is.
I have a theory, Alex. I think that Howard's trying to make up for all of the lesbian stuff he did over all these years, and exploiting strippers. Like, you know what I used to enjoy on the Howard Stern show was Lord of the Anal Ring Toss. Now that's a game.
That was the best.
That's a great game.
Wait,
Porn stars with
Radio
poles in their asses and Artie Legg chucking rings at them. That's a fun game.
And that was one of the first gimmicks they did when they went to satellite radio to try to, blow it up. I'm just blanking. What's the radio gunk girl's name though?
Monique.
Yeah, Monique said it the best, though. She said it best, in my opinion. Like, Howard wasn't even that into lesbians, she doesn't even think.
Yeah.
And then he was just doing it because the audience liked it. It was edgy. And so that's what I think he's trying to do now. He doesn't even know what his audience wants. He just thinks this is, like, super edgy. Like, oh, it's so funny. Let's be gay. It's just so out of touch.
But yeah, you know what? That's a good point, Alex, because he wants to be this woke guy. And I have some examples. He's so woke, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he's actually exploiting gay guys because, like, isn't this funny? These guys are so gay. They want cocks in their mouths. Like, well, actually, that's kind of like rude to gay people to think that's funny, right?
1,000%. This is gay bashing. Like,
no one thought lesbians were funny. We just thought it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and making straight men, quote unquote straight, even though, you know, Sal and Richard, who knows, there's been something weird going on forever. They're like always in that office, and there's definitely something there. And I say that to their face. I bet, come on, y'all have some sort of weird thing. But to make them do something for, you know, like you said, an overproduced show that they have 80 employees for a show that they do like 40 times a year now, these guys will do anything, Carl, to keep their job. Like, spread their butthole. I mean, anything. It doesn't matter. Defile themselves.
It's not just that, Alex, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say this. I am the biggest Richard Christy fan. There was a bit on the Monday show. Yeah. I would have brought it here, but it's just it's a longer bit. It's just
Sal's
really funny
too.
Sal's great too.
I want to say Sal's hilarious too. Yeah, sorry.
No, Richard had this bit where it was Halloween, so he calls into this religious show, and he's like, I got a Bible from 4000 BC. Can I read it to you? And he opens it up, and he starts reading it in Latin, and it turns out it's like this satanic cult book that summons demons. And next thing you know, there's like a demon on the phone, and the guys are trying to get it was hilarious. I don't know if it's contrived or what's going on, but I love Richard. I love Sal. I love their antics. There's a lot of people on the show I really enjoy. Mamet. I think a lot of these guys, though, they just want airtime no matter what it is. Like, well, will you get naked and rub Sal's cock? If I can be on the air, sure, because it's funny. It's funny to rub Sal's cock with my mouth and my tongue. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but do you think people even care about Howard airtime anymore? I mean, there was a time and day where if a comedian went on, well, I know they care because it is the
staff
big
does.
airways, but
yeah.
Okay, well, there was a time when if a person, you know, a comedian said, oh, I'm on the Howard Stern show, they would just sell out every weekend, whatever weekend they announced on the show. But I don't think he has that pull anymore. So I guess you're talking about the staff just wants it because they want to be, you know, on the air and seem like a team contributor. That's why they want to be.
Alex, when's the last time he had a comedian on his show?
Whitney Cummings the other day, right? I mean, she sucks. I mean, she's not even a kid. I know, but that's how he has on. And then he has on, what's that other one? Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the worst comedians ever. It's like, he would never have Shane Gillis on or Rogan or.
I mean, he used to have Dave Chappelle on the show. He used to have Mitch Hedberg on the show. Dave Attell. Guys that comedians you wanted to hear on a radio show, cracking wise at the news. There's none of that anymore. So yeah, it's not a venue for comedians to go and be discovered like it once was. Bob Schimmel was a great example of a guy who was hilarious.
But you know, and Bob Schimmel, he had his daughter on. I was just listening to an old episode. No, those are classic episodes. But he can't even create classic radio. I don't know the last time he had quote unquote viral video from like a cool interview he did. You know, some of that Bruce Springsteen stuff, because I just watched it. I saw it on social media. But, you know, he would always ask, you know, did you do anal? Always, you know, those gimmicky questions, and then it would go viral. It's like, oh, he asked Scarlett Johansson if she did anal with who so-and-so. I don't remember the last time he's had one of those type of interviews.
No, and the only time he's ever going viral, he's always trending on Twitter, but it's the dumbest shit. He must have a crazy PR team behind him. He's like, Howard says he's going to run for president. It's like, well, he's done this gimmick 1,000 times. He's not running for president. We know that, right? That's trending? Okay. So
or Howard makes fun of Kyrie Irving, or Howard makes fun of Kanye West. It's never. Yeah.
Howard thinks Elon Musk is an asshole. Yeah, we know. Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Howard talking about. He's been briefed on everything that's going to go on here. He knows what's going on the show today.
I'll explain it. I'm clear on what we're doing. It's each event and how much time the contestants have. The cock athletes. So it's going to be pretty great.
Cock athletes.
cock athletes, and it's going to be great. But big decathlon.
Decathlon.
Yeah, you got a great cock.
I like that cock athletes was funny enough for Robin to be like, whoa, who wrote that one? Wow. Dynamite. All right, so let's hear about these events.
Decathlon? I mean, come on, these are decathlon. These are not.
These are not good puns. This is these are some of the events in the decathlon here.
The first event is going to be the cock fishing, where his penis turns into a pole and Sal's buttocks will be a pond, and he'll fish out of it. And then you got the...
Let me just pause it real quick. Literally gay butt sex is the first event. Yeah, the first event. This is great. Watch this. He's going to put his penis in the guy's butthole. Oh, that's just gay sex, Howard. That's what you're describing. That's not that's a bit now? Okay. All right, cool.
And then you got the Taekwondo, which, of course, is where the guys...
event I couldn't remember. Yes, Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, which is really going to be exciting because... Gary and JD are going to hold uncooked spaghetti, and the guys are going to see how much spaghetti they can chop through.
All right. So those are the first two
with
events.
Their penis. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So they're going to hold spaghetti, and they're going to try to use their penis as like a chopper. Like oh my god.
Principal Uncertainty says, Howard, just suck a dick. No one cares anymore. Just get it over with.
I know, dude. And honestly, like him and Beth is a beautiful woman, but there's something weird about Beth too. Did you ever hear those rumors that like she was like a high class call girl? Did you ever hear that rumor, Carl?
No, I didn't. But I'm really glad that I'm going to get sued for this being on my show.
No,
please tell us, Alex.
No, that's not true. That's all rumor and innuendo. But she was with some. Who was the famous actor that she was with before Howard? Remember, there was some actor that she was with. He was like on Broadway or something. But long story short, supposedly that she was. I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get into trouble.
All right, thank you. Thanks for shutting that one down.
Mail for order bride type situation.
Teaser. We're trying to keep some friends around here. Let's. God damn. The last thing I need to see is a letter in the mail from Marcy Turk. That would not be good. I don't want anything to do with that.
Dude, you think? And honestly, we talk about it all the time. Marcy ruined the show, but Howard ruined the show himself by hiring Marcy. Like, it's not her fault for being whatever. What was the book that they read?
Getting Things Done.
Yeah, Getting Things Done. Wow, that changed the whole show.
All right, so these cock athletes are at it with this decathlon, and Howard's going to bring in the guys. He's going to bring in Sal and Richard and talk to them about how this is going to go down. He's got some important questions to ask them about these events.
By the way, did you guys clean your assholes last night for the fishing event, or did you guys purposely try to undermine your opponent by not cleaning it?
That's the question we all wanted to know, obviously. How clean is your asshole, Richard Christy? Please answer the question. All right. So there was a rehearsal for this.
Richard, at any point during rehearsal, did Sal slip and did his penis kind of almost like go into your asshole?
Oh, there many times. That's going to happen a lot, Howard.
It's funny. Well, I don't think it's funny.
Hey, did you guys have gay sex yesterday during the rehearsal? Oh, yeah. A bunch. Good one. Yeah, it's a pretty good joke.
Hey, did you listen to the drop they played, Carl? They played an Alex Jones
That was
drop.
my job. I put that on there.
That was your job. I was gonna say, okay, that is good. Well, he loves to do the Alex Jones gimmick where they have, he has like the cardboard cutout.
Hilarious.
But why don't Howard have Alex Jones on your show? He would go on your show. That would be like a viral clip.
He did have Alex on his show. He did.
Years ago.
Yes,
years ago.
many years ago.
Yeah. No, but that's totally different. That Alex Jones went on The View years ago. That was before he was canceled. I'm talking about now. He still does Alex Jones bits. Can you imagine if you were really edgy Howard and you were the king of all media or whatever? Why not have the guy on and say, hey, I didn't like what you did with Sandy or yada, yada, yada. But no, he would never do that. He just would have like the cardboard cutout. That's the kind of interview and journalism that Howard could do that a serious journalism couldn't. Like, I think there was an old clip I was watching where they're talking about when Anthony Weiner went through his sex scandal. And now Howard was like, yeah, I would like to have him on the show because that would be a better interview than like a gotcha interview from some ABC person where it's all serious. It would be funny to hear Howard do kind of an intense interview, but in a funny way. But we don't get that anymore.
No, I don't think he's capable of that anymore, to be honest with you, because Howard's big thing is like he brings Bruce Springsteen on, and his first question, pretty much out of the gate, is like, now, did you have a bad relationship with your father? And did that lead to this unique talent that you have and your creativity? It's like, no, Howard, you're explaining you again. He always talks to people about him, you know? He's like, oh, so what about your mom? Is she almost dead? Do you go visit her and it's annoying? Like, no, Howard, that's you. That's what you do. All right.
Well, but Carl, the last thing we got to talk about is dad, and then you said, oh, Alex, why do you think he's gay? Well, his dad in Private Parts in every movie, his dad is described as Ray Stern, bald, as a doorknob. Yet Howard Stern has locks and jet black hair at nearly 65 years old. I just don't believe it. I mean, and they say it gets, it's hereditary from your mom's side. That's a wig that Howard has. And then, guess who was his hairstylist for all the years?
Ralph. Right? I thought Ralph was just a stylist, but you were telling me he's a hairstylist as well.
Yeah, I gotta find the hairstyle. Okay, yeah. I never seen anything like. Let me find it real quick.
So I think that Howard's actually 68 at this point. I mean, he's over 65 at this point. And
68. Yeah.
If you listen to Mo on Radio Gunk, she has said, and she says this with authority. So for whatever reason, she believes this to be true. Howard doesn't have a wig; he has a hair system. So it's one of these things where they transplant hair, and so it makes it so it still grows and stuff, but it's not your real hair. I don't know. This is what they think.
It's whatever they call that, where it's like a weave or whatever. It's a hair system. He has some hair probably on the side, and then it's hair extensions. I'm just saying that's not his natural hair.
No.
He's cheating.
He says it is.
He's juking the stats.
He insists that it is. It's not.
He insists that he doesn't use any hair dye. I'm a young man. I have gray hair. Like, I mean, I have gray pubes. I'm in my 30s.
That's true. I know that for a fact.
My age. Yeah. I was butt naked the whole time. I'm just saying. It's just he's such a liar. He can't even tell the truth about something that's innocuous that we all know what the truth is. So you can extrapolate that lie to his whole thing being a gimmick, even his sexuality, I feel like. So.
All right, so we've heard about two of the events on this so far. What's
decathlon? Dick fishing?
Well, no, dick fishing was it's a decathlon. So the dick fishing was one. Okay. The second one was that spaghetti thing, which they call taekwondo.
Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Taekwondo.
So you got to break this. I almost said biscotti. You got to break the spaghetti. What am I, 7? What are you, 7? You're saying biscotti. So what's the third event?
Let me just mention the third event real quickly, because we're going to get to it in a minute. But the penis golfing event, that's the one I'm most excited about, because I think golf is a very difficult sport. I've tried it. I'm good at a big drive, but then when it comes to the small little
did one drive.
I know.
It's difficult, guys. Well, how does
that's got to be a bit too, right? Where he says he's good at golf.
That's such a bit. He did one drive. Yeah. He acts like he's Tiger Woods.
See, he came in one morning. He's just like, guys, I'm really good at golf. It's easy, and he got everyone on the staff pissed off at him over that.
Yeah, it's difficult, guys. Well, how does it work now? Well, how's it going to go first? Richard, are you going to be the hole, and Sal is going to use his penis as a golf club, or is it going to be reverse?
We're both going to do that. We take turns. Like, first, I'll be on my back with my legs way up in the air. You'll see me gaping, and then Sal is going to use his dick to hit a golf ball across a table and hopefully hit right into my asshole.
That's fascinating. Please go on.
So this is the one that Howard's looking forward to the most. Penis golf, where they try to use their penis to hit a ball into the other guy's butthole.
Okay.
Producer Chris is so put off right now.
Well, I'm just even trying to imagine it. So they're standing at a table and they're like doing like a shimmy, I guess, and then his butt.
This is the one thing they put on the SiriusXM app, so I was able to watch this event. And basically, they're down on all fours, like in push-up position, because they're not allowed to use their hands, and they just have to like whip their penis into the ball.
Oh my god! And then Richard has his legs up. He's like spread eagle with his butthole open.
Spreading his butthole open. Yes. Pretty hot, right?
I mean, dude, all just to get on the air on Howard's Air.
I love Richard Christy. I think he's hilarious. If they do the Jack and Rod podcast someday, I'm all in. That's going to be amazing. Yeah. But I do not like the term that Richard uses to talk about Sal's penis, which is uncircumcised.
And that's another one where Sal has kind of an advantage because he's got all that foreskin dick meat that acts as a putter.
Ugh, dick meat? You see all that dick meat?
Dick meat.
They're supposedly friends. They're talking about each other's dick meat.
And Sal always like and Sal, who's hilarious, he always like the most hardcore porn. You know, he'd always talk about how he like German, like, you know, rape piss porn. Like, there's just something weird about he hates women. Sal, there's something very devious about old Sal.
Seems that way. Seems that way.
And his dad, and I love Sal too. You know, his dad had another brother. You know, Sal had another brother with a different family that his dad got pregnant. Did you know that, Carl?
I did. Oh, yeah. I remember that whole saga. Yes.
Yeah, he worked at, and the kid, his brother actually committed suicide, and that was like, you know, he found out at the pizzeria.
Let's keep it light. Let's keep it light today, Alex.
I know. I'm talking about the serious stuff. I'm a stern nut, and we got to talk about the dark side of the Howard Stern show. But what I'm trying to get to is that who's Sal's dad, who's still, I think now they have him on the show more now than ever, I believe, you know, abused him by making him work in that pizza parlor like crazy.
Sal's dad is a character.
You know
Sal's dad claims that he invented putting toppings on pizza. He claims that nobody decided to put something on top of the cheese before he did it. He invented that. I know.
I agree. I think he did. No, I think that's the one thing I believe. I believe that conspiracy.
That's the one thing you believe.
I believe that one 100%. The Sal couldn't make that up. He's too good of a guy.
All right. So now that was all the first segment of the show, talking about in a few segments, we're going to get to this decathlon. So now fast forward, now they've described everything that's going to happen, let's actually hear it take place. And it starts with, now Howard did not go into the studio for this show. I wouldn't have either, but just saying. But Howard is watching this from his monitor from his basement. And so they finally put on the screen what's going on.
Oh, my God. Hi, guys. This is unbelievable what I'm seeing, and I'll try to describe to people.
Yes, go ahead. Kill yourself. Do this justice.
I'm staring at a very naked, medicated Pete. How are you, Pete?
Very naked.
Very naked.
Pete.
And Pete, just say good morning to everybody so they know you're here.
Good morning, everybody. What's up?
So if you're just listening to this, these guys are all going nuts. It's so fun. Oh, again, medicated Pete has a microphone on his cock, and they're all naked, and that's so funny. Like, none of this, what you're describing, sounds funny.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna have to bend over to sing to his dick. Like, I mean, I guess that's kind of funny. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, you know, what I guess my point is, they're in a boardroom talking about all this. All of this stuff is scripted. They've like thought about this, heavily produced. How did they think? Oh, that'll be so funny. We'll make medicated Pete sing to his penis. Like, this is just gimmicks for, you know, kids. Basically, it's like a kids radio show.
I wrote that down, Alex, and I'm glad you brought that up because this is literally what an edgy 12-year-old would come up with like, oh, and then what if we like the microphone's on his penis and he's naked and he has to sing into his penis? Like, yeah, it's pretty edgy there, buddy. It's pretty good. Let's do that.
That's exactly what it is, and I keep on going back to the, you know, Eric the actor days where there's like, he was like mad at Richard Christy, so he wanted Richard Christy to have gay sex with Sal. There's some, I forget what the thing was. It's like, if you saw, I'll do this if you do that. So my point is, there's this weird thing where like they want them to have sex, that power and control of making Richard do this gay sex stuff. There's just
that segues very nicely into my next clip, because if you want to talk about some gay stuff, this might be gayer than gay sex right here.
I'm also staring at Richard and Sal, who are joined at the penis by what do you call those things, boys? What is that?
It's a toilet paper roll, but we're docking. We're basically docking. Our penises are touching each other, which is very weird.
God. Oh, dear.
Isn't that funny? My penis is touching his penis at the tip. Hilarious. Good joke, guys. So then they have to bring in Chris Wilding. Now, Chris Wilding is the gay guy on the show. And Chris Wilding's had some really good bits. I've enjoyed him over the years. But they've kind of transformed him into a one-dimensional, like, he's just gay guy who has gay sex and talks about gay stuff. Now, everything that we're describing here with medicated Pete having a mic on his cock and Richard and Sal having a toilet paper roll, connecting their penises, none of this would be appealing to an actual gay man. This is all for a bit, and it's just ludicrous. But Chris Wilding is going to play into it and say how hot this all is.
And then Chris Wilding is there. He insisted. Chris has never been in the office without a mask on. Wow. And today he just said, fuck it. This for me is like the Bruce Springsteen interview. I want to be near Cock. I want to be involved. Is that right, Chris?
It's exactly right. And, I always said, I'm probably going to catch COVID eventually, but I don't want it to be in a stupid way. And I've really thrown that out the window today.
Right.
So we're supposed to believe that Chris Welding, who is a legitimate gay man, is excited to see Richard, Sale, and Medicated Pete be naked and do stuff with their penises. That's again insulting to gay people.
Oh my!
Right? It's like, what the fuck? That's how gay people act. They're not just like, any cock and balls, I'm in. Let's go. Maybe they are.
Let me just see any random dick. I just want to see it. I mean, it's kind of like how the trans community is making fun of women in a way. This is making fun of gay men. I mean, by saying weird. The gay stereotype. It's just like being a walking, talking stereotype of what a quote unquote gay person is.
You're gonna love this, Alex, because again, you go way back with the Stern Show, as do I. And if you remember, Medicated Pete, he was an intern. When they first brought him on the air, they were goofing because he couldn't talk and he's quirky and he's got OCD and all these things going on. And then one day, this might have been after his internship, I don't even remember. One day they bring him on to sing karaoke, and it turns out he sang Purple Rain very well. He got emotional, he got into it, he hit all the notes. I was like, whoa, what's all this about? So, of course, they're going back to this well. Alex,
He's still singing Purple Rain.
November 2022.
He's been singing Purple Rain for like 15 years. He's been singing Purple Rain.
So they decide they're gonna kick off the decathlon by having Medicated Pete sing Purple Vein.
And now to open up the ceremony, singing out of his penis.
See, I kind of like this.
Is the incredible Medicated Pete and Purple Vein. Purple Vein, everybody.
And the magical
All right, so he goes through and sings that whole song. It's not even like a parody; he just sings "Purple Rain." But he's like bending down towards his penis. I guess I'm supposed to think that's funny because people are laughing.
Yeah,
must be really funny. You could be laughing more often, by the way. Yeah, great show. WATP, we have a good time. All right, so now
WATP.
There it is. You pop that into post. Thank you. Now, what you're going to hear is the gay fishing starts. And this might be the gayest thing ever.
All right, so I'm going to leave it to you to count the amount of fish that Sal gets out of Richard's asshole.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, this is our first Cocktober event. The set looks like a gay porno movie.
Howard, can I just say this is unequivocally the gayest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. And I fuck men. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. What do you think of it? It's wild, right? Is this gayer than the Andy Cohen channel?
Oh, my God. It makes the Andy Cohen channel look like outlaw country. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If that's the goal, to be the gayest thing on Sirius XM, nailed it. Got that going for you. I like Japanese fart enthusiast says, Opie finally has a better radio show than Howard. Yeah, you might be right about that.
Opie in his car is probably better than having to hear this.
You might be right about that. So they're really proud of themselves with how gay everything is. And this is just great radio right here, Alex. This is what you want to hear when you tune in to the Howard Stern show, especially all those people who get Sirius XM for like 3 months or 6 months. They buy a new car. You're flipping through the dials.
Ready, set, hump.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is gay.
They're playing golf now?
This is that fishing event. This is where
the fishing. Okay, this
is where
fishing.
Richard's putting his penis in the Sale's butthole to pull something out.
Yeah, I see. So that was gay fishing.
This is why I played all that setup before, because literally just talking about it could have been the bit, you know, rather than actually go do it. They're like, these are all the ideas we had. Isn't that wacky? All right, moving on. What's in the news, Robin? That would have been a better show, but instead of hearing all of this.
This is
light up the cheeks. His dick's flopping around in my cheeks.
Oh my God.
So everyone's obviously playing it up. Like, oh, this is the wackiest thing. Or it's just two gay guys having sex. You never seen that before? What's your problem? All right, so now let's move ahead to. I didn't pull a lot of clips of this because it's all really boring. It's all just people like reacting. Whoa, whoa, hey, what's going on? So you don't even know what's happening. So now let's move on to Taekwondo. And Gary Dell'Abate is not a big fan of holding the spaghetti that Richard and Sal have to try to.
Making Gary hold the spaghetti. You're kidding, Carl. Gary, the top executive producer. I mean, I know Marcy, I guess technically is above him, is holding the cock spaghetti.
It's funny because I remember somebody wrote in and they're like, ask Stuttering John, who's doing a better job producing a show, Gary who got Bruce Springsteen, or Stuttering John who got Benny Loco. And that's a pretty good point. But then if you said, yeah, but John's not holding on to raw spaghetti with a guy shoving his cock through it. So John's got him there.
Dude, and Gary is not gay. I mean, he had a gay brother. I mean, he's a dad. Like, I mean, wow.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to explain he's not gay. I know he's not gay.
But Carl, I'm saying this is called buck breaking, and this is what they do in Hollywood and stuff. It's like where they make a straight person do something gay, so it just exerts your dominance. And I can make you be gay even though you're totally straight.
All right, now I'm gonna go down a fucking rabbit hole with you, my friend. Isn't this what they do in like Skull and Bones and these secret societies?
Of course,
they make people do really gay stuff because then it's like, do you want that getting out? Then you better keep our secret, asshole. I don't know if that's the reason why they do it.
Yeah, and everybody did it, and this is how I can prove it too. Like even freaking Donald Trump, if you look at his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, Jared Kushner's dad got arrested for honeypotting his brother-in-law. He got a prostitute to sleep with his brother-in-law to help out his sister in their divorce. My point is, like all these people, they use it, whether it's Skull and Bones or they make you like get peed on in a coffin where everybody watches it or they film it so they can use it as leverage, but it's literal called the humiliation ritual. And they want to see like how, loyal are you to the, how down are you with the cause, willing to do it. And then you do it in front of people and they can always say, oh, hey, I saw you when you were that 12-year-old kid, or I saw, that person stuff a pineapple up your asshole. So that's what Howard's doing right now. He's basically buck breaking them or making them do a humiliation ritual.
This is going to be a whole thread of the subreddit now. I knew they'd start talking about this with Alex Stein on the show. All right, so this is Gary Dell'Abate going through a humiliation ritual, as you've pointed out.
And Gary, what's going on? I see you're freaking out.
Well, I'm like literally.
I mean, his thighs are against our fucking hands right now.
He's on us, and I'm 12 inches away from his cock. He's got his cock on top of the spaghetti, and he's got to break the spaghetti with his cock. So right now we're starting with 2 strands of spaghetti.
You guys are on your knees, which makes it even look kind of funnier.
Yeah, it looks funny.
It's
hilarious.
Richard's standing, you're holding spaghetti on his penis. All right.
Now, do you remember, Alex? I hope people listening to this are Howard Stern fans. Remember when Gary was complaining that a porn star squirted on him and it hit him in the face? I bet he wishes that was what was going on in the studio.
For that day.
Yeah, he's pining for that. He's like, I used to just get squirt in my face. That might have been urine, but whatever. At least I wasn't getting Sal's dog in my mouth.
Are you a boner guy?
Well, that goes to the humiliation ritual too. He used to make him wear like a beekeeper's mask.
That's true.
He used to be like, you're so ugly. You have to wear a mask. That's another He loves humiliating Gary.
He does. All right, so now this is the very exciting part where Richard will break through the pasta with his penis.
Hold it tight.
And this is Richard versus Sal. So who's in the lead? Do we even know who's in the lead in the decathlon right now?
Sal won the first event, the fishing event. Okay, so he's up 1-0 at this point. I'm glad that Alex is making fun of us. He's like, but I also want to win. Okay, let's find out who wins this one.
Hold it tight, guys.
I told you, JD, hold it tight.
I did hold it tight.
Really tight.
All right, be serious.
All right. Hey, yeah.
Hey,
up.
Same thing.
Nice.
There it is. It broke.
Right, it's a break.
Okay.
It's a clean break.
All
That's
right.
a clean break.
Nice.
So what does that mean?
I love Robin. What's going on here? Like, that's what I would ask too. Like, so can we be done with this now, or how does that work? We good? Guys, we good? Is that enough? All right, so Sal wins that event. Fast forward to penis golf.
But how did he win that event? No, now I'm kind of with Robin. What, because there was more spaghetti strands that he broke?
They have to keep getting more and more,
Oh my gosh, okay. All right, well.
Alex, this is so insane.
I mean, it's gone so gay. I mean, this show is a gay sex show, and nothing's wrong with that. If you're gay out there, go join the Howard Stern show. Go have all the gay sex you want to have. I don't want to even sound like that, but this show used to be cool and hip, and now it's like, let me just make men have sex. Straight men have sex with each other.
Yeah. He's just humiliating people is what this is really all about.
Yeah.
Okay. So I used to humiliate women. Remember Dumb as a Rock? When they would ask these hot chicks or strippers like really easy questions, and when they got it wrong, they had to say, I'm as dumb as a rock. That's great. Let's do that. Let's do more awesome. Of that. That was awesome. I was like, yep, that was awesome.
And see, this doesn't work if you get Elegant Elliot often to do it because he's such a mess. You know, that's not humiliating for...
Right.
You know, Elegant Elliot. But for Gary, who's like this dad who, you know, wears his untucked shirts and wants to be taken seriously, you know, I'm just saying that's not, you know, that's not what a real the producer of The Tonight Show's not letting guys, you know, rub penis on their macaroni and cheese noodles or whatever.
Or maybe he is. I don't want to speak for the producer of The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right. So this is the beginning of penis golf.
Now, Sal, you are going to be golfing first. The idea is how many strokes will it take your penis, the golf club, if you will, to get into Richard's asshole?
That's correct.
All right.
And how far would you say this putt has to be?
This is about an 8-foot putt, Robin.
Okay.
Howard, I'm getting a whiff of something. I'm downwind of Sal. I'm getting a real whiff of something.
Yeah,
what's going on? It smells like
Sal.
ass.
So that's another thing you have to do is, I think Sal smells gross, or Richard. Okay.
Carl, they did this bit with every whack packer stunk. At High Pitch Eric, they always smelled bad over their breath. There's always a bad stench.
And then Richard Christy would start gagging and puking because of it. Yeah. All right, so
gross,
let's play some theater of the mind here, because I actually watched this clip online to see what it actually looked like, so I know what it looks like, but let's see if this is entertaining for a radio audience.
Could you grace me with a countdown?
Oh, Lord. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because I went to the corner. I'm going to pull it out 2 club legs.
He's in the sand trap.
All right. Sal hit it into a corner. It's a very difficult angle, but he did get distance. And now he's about, I'd say, what do you think, Robin? 2 foot from his asshole.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, Howard, his asshole is just a mess. It's horrible, really up close.
And your asshole's a piece of a work of art.
But I think I have to look away while I hit this ball.
Don't, Sal.
There we go.
Sal, you got to aim.
Look at it and love it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
He just missed the ball, but he didn't miss it.
He missed the ball.
What is going on here?
You guys following any of this? Do you know what's going on?
Well, are they on a table? Because how is the ball in the corner? So what is it, like a table with the edges? It has so it doesn't fall off the table, kind of?
Correct, yeah. So it's more like mini golf than it is like golf. It is contained.
And then Richard's laying there with his butthole open. So what is it? The ball supposed to catch in his asshole theoretically?
Yeah, I mean that's what they said, and then it just bounces off his butt cheek. Like, okay, you got it. It's basically what happens.
I see.
And just so you know, Richard did win that event, but Sal won 2-1 in the decathlon. In case you were betting at home. Yeah, I know.
But Sal won after the second thing, right? So he was 2-0.
He was already locked in after the second.
So they didn't even have to do the third event. See, that just shows you it's all a scam right there, Carl. We know who won the decathlon. We didn't even need to do the third gay event. We already crowned a champion. And Howard said, no, we still need to do the gay penis soccer, whatever, golf.
It's almost like it's just a bit. They don't really care who wins. I know. Go figure, Alex. So then Michael Rappaport joins the show. And I like Rappaport. Now, we've had our ups and downs together, Rapp and I. But overall, I've really enjoyed him as part of the Howard Stern show. And I just think one of the first podcasts we listened to that we genuinely enjoyed was Michael Rappaport. So I just have a thing about him. I think he's a funny guy. So he comes out.
And I want to say this. And my politics are so different than Michael, but dude, when he was making fun of JD, I'm talking about, I can separate that. Michael's brilliant at like some of his cut downs. You know, I know there are voicemails, but I mean, I don't have put downs that good. You know, I'm just saying some of these put downs were maybe because he's been put down so much. I don't know how Michael Rappaport is so good at shit talking, but one of the best shit talkers I've ever heard in my life. I have to give him that. No doubt about it.
Agreed. So he comes on and he's been witnessing all of this and he's saying what we're all thinking.
Hi, Michael. Have you been listening to the action and what are you thinking?
Howard, the fact that I mean, we went from Bruce Springsteen to this. I mean, and the mention of rehearsal, the fact that, like, the mention of rehearsal.
Multiple rehearsals.
Multiple rehearsals.
Yeah. So Rappaport's just like, I can't believe what I'm watching right now. This is the Howard Stern show in 2022. This is ridiculous. Now, it turns out there's a reason why Rappaport even showed up on this show. He thought Howard was going to be there in studio.
Of course.
He is not.
And the thing that's disappointing to me is I was told you were back you didn't want to come in the studio for this, huh?
No, just Bruce Springsteen.
Just Bruce.
I'm back home.
And let me tell you something. If you're worried about people catching COVID, that's the least of the diseases that can be caught.
That's a funny joke.
That's good. That's a serious bait and switch right there. To be like, oh, yeah, come on down. Howard's finally back in the studio. We'll have you in. He's like, all right. He shows up. It's just like everyone's naked and doing gay stuff. He's like, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting
and Michael Rappaport knows, like, Howard Stern hasn't been there in 3 years or whatever. Like, he probably wants to see him. He wants to keep his relationship with him. Howard has helped kind of rejuvenate Michael's career, too, a little bit in the last few years.
I agree.
He probably has, like, serious, I want to see the guy. Why not? Because he doesn't have any beef with him. And then, I mean, it's just kind of sucks. Even the people that care about Howard, they don't get to see him. It's just sad.
Unless you're Jennifer Aniston or John Hamm. And even then, he went there under protest. He did not want to be there with those people. All right, so now Chris Wilding, for some reason, decides to call Michael Rappaport out. Now, Michael Rappaport is in the 3rd season of Only Murderers in the Building, with Steve Martin and Martin Short. And so he's playing a character. This is not a reality show. He's playing a character who has specific lines that Chris Wilding, I don't even know why he brings this up. Nobody wants to talk about this.
By the way, Michael, nice knock on Howard and Only Murderers in the Building. That was a really nice fucking knock you took on him.
What is this?
You got some fucking nerve showing your face here.
First of all, it was a written line that I added
I said
my character, because they were talking about podcasts, and I said, I don't like podcasts. I listen to Stern, but old school Stern.
And he was better in the 90s,
yes, that's what I said. My character said.
That's a terrible thing to say. Michael.
He was talking about Sibian and all that stuff, and then the gentrification of Baba Booey and stuff like that.
Yeah. How funny is that? Michael Rappaport's character says, I don't listen to podcasts. I like old Howard Stern. He was great in the 90s. Chris Wilding, for some reason, brings this up. He shouldn't have, because if we surveyed Howard Stern fans, 100% of them would say Howard Stern was better in the 90s than he is now. 100%. There's not one person who's just like, no, I like what he's doing now. This is cool. Cocktober, it's great.
Wow, Wilding really tried to throw him under the bus of that, because that's like extra. It stings extra hard. Then he brings up when it's peaked in the 90s. Oh, wow, that's...
So listen to the rest of this, because now Michael Rappaport has to explain why his character would say that.
Thing to say.
Well, he was talking about Sibian and all that stuff, and then the gentrification of Baba Booey and stuff like that. Howard, but listen, the homage is a homage.
Can I spank Michael now?
Homage.
I mean, Rappaport's just like, well, yeah, my character would rather see the Howard Stern that has girls on the Sibian than the Howard Stern that makes guys play golf with their penis. That seems like a character that I would play, And he's going like, at least I mentioned Howard Stern on a fucking big show. It's something, right? Come on. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but Howard would rather not mention him. He's such an egomaniac than mention him and be like, oh, he peaked in the 90s.
So Michael Rappaport comes on to spank Richard Christy.
Richard is nude over Michael Rappaport, famous actor's lap. Michael is doing some sort of like arm.
He just licked his hand.
Oh, get your cock away from me, Sal.
Sal was joking around, sticking his penis on Richard's head while he was over Michael's lap.
He thought I wouldn't notice.
All right, so that's just more gay stuff. But let's actually listen, because we've been teasing this forever. Rappaport's going to spank Richard Christy. That's going to be a good bit on the radio, right? Remember Richard said he might get hard and ejaculate? Remember that?
Can I start the lashings?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead and.
Here we go.
Ah! Yeah.
Oh. Ah!
Yeah, said, thank you, Daddy. I want another.
Thank you, Daddy. I'll take another. Oh!
Say, I'm going to be a good fantasy football boy.
I'm going to follow the rules, sir.
Are you going to follow the rules?
I will follow the rules,
fuck.
sir.
I'm going to beat that ass. I'm going to turn it into the roadkill that you eat, you sick animal, you.
All right, so that's what that is. Not a great payoff, in my opinion, but...
What was he slapping him with? It sounded like a not a paddle, but like a like a rope or something like that.
That's a good question, because they said bare hand, but I can't imagine that Michael Rappaport would spank Richard Christy's bare ass with his bare hand. Like, there's no way.
Maybe, dude. I mean,
the video's
that's how
not on the app,
Rappaport
so I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, I haven't actually. Like I said, I need to look. But I, Rappaport, these Hollywood people, the casting couch, he knows it's smart to get dialed in with Howard. And I think what made Howard big to the Hollywood people too is they'd always listen to it on movie sets. You'd always hear like the actors, they would come on the show, they'd be like, "Oh, when I was making this movie, we always listened to you." But I wonder if that's the case anymore because he's only 3 days a week. He's just not even on the air enough for people to like kind of regularly catch up to the drama. You're always getting it 3 days and off 4 days, and so it just doesn't have this. It doesn't hit the same.
The last thing I'm going to talk about, we need to move on. Obviously, I've enjoyed this conversation with you, and it's running a little bit long. But Howard Stern goes on to talk about one of the segments on here was Elon Musk buying Twitter, and I won't even play the clip. But Howard says, he is upset because Elon Musk is allowing anyone to say anything they want. And it's crazy to me. Fuck it, I'll just play it. It's crazy to me that Howard Stern, the free speech guy, fuck the FCC, all of this stuff, you should be able to say whatever you want, now wants everyone else censored.
So Elon Musk takes over Twitter. Yeah. And now, Elon Musk's big thing is like, hey, fuck all of you. Say whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Which is insane because, let's face it, I'll tell you a story real quick.
All right. I just want to point out, because the news media is running with this, that's what Musk is doing. It's just the opposite. Musk has come out and said, we are still policing the site the way we always have. None of that's changed. My friend Dick Masterson just lost his Twitter account. Just lost it the other day.
Did Dick just lose it? Yeah, I saw some people. Oh,
this is still happening. So anyone who thinks that it's everyone just using the N-word and talking about Nazis, that's not the case. That's not true. The news is reporting that that's the case, but it's not. So then Howard goes on to talk about how he can prove that Elon Musk is doing the wrong thing because of a certain person who is on the platform.
When this person is most excited about the new Twitter and Elon Musk, you're doing something wrong in life. And the person is O.J. Simpson. O.J.'s thrilled.
No, O.J.
The old Twitter, the old Twitter took the attitude, O.J. Simpson, we are not going to verify him. We're not going to give him that little blue check mark that says you're the real O.J. Simpson, because O.J. might have done something really bad, and we don't want to be in the O.J. business. World. But guess what? O.J.'s like, wait a second now.
Whoa, that's how O.J. talks? Okay.
Listen to him.
Hey, Twitter world,
to be fair, we'd want O.J. verified, so I know he's not going to come and kill me. So it's almost better that he's verified, so you can be safe. Yeah. Mark's safe from the real O.J. So I think that's actually smart.
This is him playing an O.J. clip from Twitter.
Listen to him.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Let me start off the day by congratulating Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Maybe I can get authenticated. Maybe I can get a blue check.
So I'm with you, Alex, and maybe I'm the edgelord now, and Howard no longer is, because I think they should give OJ a blue check mark. I think it's about time. Can we all move on from this at this point?
No, it's not even move on, but I mean, what the fuck? That is O.J. Simpson just because he murdered, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Doesn't mean that he's not O.J. Simpson, allegedly, and got away with it. But that doesn't mean that he's not O.J. Simpson or a verified human being.
I'm not pro-murder. If you hear me on the creep off, I'm very anti-murder. I tell people not to murder people, but O.J.'s hilarious.
Who are these podcasts?